And joining me as always, Isaac and Patrick. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Oh, my goodness, we're lagging a little behind there. So this week was my pick, and I know, Isaac, you watched it last week, and Epic, you watched it about 10 minutes ago, right?
Well, yeah, I started it last night, and then I finished it 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I also brushed up on it about 10 minutes ago. It was just as depressing as it was, when I saw it a year ago. So my pick was The Seasoning House from 2012. It is a movie about a young woman sold at a brothel in the deep woods to work as a caretaker. And she's deaf, and she's horribly disfigured the way they talk about her, apparently. Horribly disfigured. She has a birthmark or something.
It's like a little birthmark.
And basically what she does is kind of crawl through the vents at night and try to cheer up the other young girls that are attendants at this brothel, and, administer drugs and things like that. Kind of a horror movie, but not really. It's a horrific movie.
Action.
I don't like Die Hard is action. I wouldn't. You mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah. This has a lot of similarities to Die Hard, and honestly, I thought it was a cooking movie when we first started.
Yeah.
So I'm a little was a little.
Imagine my surprise. There was no whole peppercorns or anything. So, So it was, I enjoyed the movie. I'm going to turn it over to you guys in a second. It was definitely, as you guys know, I like to pick some of the more risque movies for you guys, without pushing the boundaries of being like, maybe Isaac's wife should not watch this, that type of thing. After The Tribe, I thought we were safe with this one. And I watched it again this morning, and I still think The Tribe is worse, especially, a couple scenes in that. So, Isaac, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The Tribe was worse, and the reason is because despite all the crazy bad things that were happening in the Seasoning House, they shot it where they would look like the camera would pan away, or it would only be looking at a certain thing. So you knew what was happening, but you didn't have to actually look at it like the way the Tribe made you stare at everything. So I think that's what made it feel a little less tame, even though the things that were happening were awful.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was. I do wonder though why you out of all the number of horror movies or taboo or gross out movies or scandalous movies, why this one? Why did you choose this specific one for us to watch? That's what I want to hear.
Because you guys have daughters. And I'm painting a horrific alternative future. No, honestly, it's only because I do want to continue picking risky movies, and I actually have a list, and I have a random generator, and that's what popped up. So there's no rhyme or reason behind it. And it was fresh in my mind because I had recently watched it, so I kind of wanted to do it while it's fresh in my mind, because I didn't plan on watching it again. If there's a loud crash, guys, I apologize. I threw my water bottle halfway across my room, apparently. I didn't plan on watching it again, but I'm like, maybe I should, just to see what I made them go through again. So that's why I watched it again this morning. But yeah, that would be the reason. No rhyme or reason.
Okay. Well, as far as the movie itself goes, they did leave it on a little bit of a, you don't really know what happened at the end, a little cliffhanger, right?
Yeah, the director said he kind of wanted to leave it ambiguous, and he's like, okay, did she get away? Did she not get away? That type of thing. So I was a little annoyed about that.
Yeah, because she finds the doctor, but she must have known him or seen him at the house. So I don't know how she would trust him or not, but we just don't know what happened to her after she left. And that's probably my favorite part of the movie, is that maybe she did get away, and we get to think about that. But the rest of it, I don't know. It was a tough watch, very bleak, very dark. The other thing I didn't like was when towards the end, when the guy's chasing her and she's in the ducks, and he gets stuck, right?
That is another reason, because I thought it would fit hand in hand with our last episode.
Yeah. But she takes the rag and she shoves it in his mouth, and he acts like he can't get it out of his mouth, but he could just like spit it out.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
That
push
was
it out with your
goofy. That was
tongue.
goofy.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, it was just a tough little tough watch. It's like a 4-slice movie for me.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna agree. I was gonna say that was a silly part, but I also at the same time, I definitely think that he had that coming, being stuck in there and dying in there. Yeah, I was gonna say about a 5-slice for me too. Epic, what about you?
So you rated it pretty high. 5 slices, yeah. No, I really, it was a very tough movie to watch because I do have daughters, and it's set in the Balkan War or in Balkan or whatever that is in Europe, and really this stuff happens. This happens all the time, and it's so scary to think about, and that's why I'm very whatever with my daughter. I'm like, dude, don't ever get in somebody's car. Don't ever talk to anybody. Don't ever, if anybody touches you wrong or anything, you let me know. And I'll take them out. But it's interesting. But I do like the whole premise of it. That I call it. It's a really weird Die Hard movie. But this lady doing the Ring impression, climbing through the vents, was really kind of creepy.
Yeah.
At night with the hair dripped.
Yeah.
But you could see her kind of dealing with the whole situation in hand, and either luckily or not luckily because of her gross disfigurement, which is a tiny little birthmark on the side of her face. If anybody was wondering, she couldn't work. She couldn't be a sex slave or whatever they were. Sex slave, and just the pure evil in people, and it's out there. It is so much out there. So as far as slices go, I probably would give it like a 4 out of 10, just because it had a lot of cool action scenes, and like I was watching it with you on Discord, and I got into it a little bit here and there. It was kind of cool, and definitely a just ending. I thought there was going to be more with the soldier that shot her mom, reluctantly shot her mom, and just stood there, the brother.
Oh yeah.
I was actually shocked they didn't really do more with him, because he was obviously conflicted and obviously trying to help her towards the end, but he, was taken out. Yeah. So that kind of shocked me, but man, Victor's such a douchebag. Oh,
was that the bald guy? Or no, that was the and it's what kind of got me into the movie is like I enjoyed the movie. I would not give it enjoyable movie score, right? Like I would not recommend this to anybody. I would make you guys sit through it for a movie podcast, but I definitely wouldn't be like, hey mom, check out this movie, that type of thing. But towards the beginning when he just, our whole relationship is built on trust, and he just cuts that girl's neck out like open. I'm like, wow, okay.
Oh yeah.
That's a little intense, and that's money, man. What are you doing? But and I don't. Did you guys expect the relationship to form between the two of them, or the one-sided relationship?
Yes, I did because it's the Stockholm syndrome, right? But it was kind of weird because it was all him, and she just kind of kept her mouth shut. Until the end when she trusted him, which was bad. I don't get that.
Yeah, and I think one of the turning points for her would be the discovery in the woods, right? Like what that was pretty upsetting for me. I don't know about you guys.
That was so gross. Yeah, I think I was on the Discord with you. I'm like, oh my god, she found the other girls, and if anybody doesn't.
And that's kind of the saddest part for me is that these girls don't really get an end to their story. I mean, it's the whole thing is sad that they're put in this situation, right? But then just imagine the girls that are dumped out in the woods, and the families never get any kind of closure or anything like that. It's just that kind of hits home sometimes,
Yep. Yeah. So at the end, basically, she's running through the forest and she falls into a pile of rotting bodies, and it's all the girls from the brothel, and they're all covered in maggots and everything, and it's a horrible scene. And then she realizes how bad Victor is and how bad everything is, and definitely was a turning point. But I'm going to go back to the whole end point when she went to the old lady for help. She's running away. Finally got away from the Goran, Goran, I think it was his name. And runs into this old lady's arms, and little does she know the old lady is with that doctor, and the doctor's the one that would come to the brothel and check over these people and say, call them stock. You need to keep your stock in check or something like that. You need to take care of your stock. And
he shows humanity for about 10 seconds, like when he's at the brothel, right? Like, you cannot have her work anymore. And he tries, I don't want to say tries, he stands up to him for about a second or two, and then, goes back into this meek doctor, which is why that is what leads me to believe that things maybe didn't end okay,
Well, I'd like to think that she ended up stabbing him in the throat too. So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, could be.
Let's talk about that scene where the one guy was raping the girl with a broken hip and choked her.
Yeah, that was awful.
It was, but
because I think it was made more awful because of the fact that you knew that her hip was broken and all of that, and she just must have been in so much pain, and that's probably the only super graphic sexual assault scene in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Besides, it wasn't that. They didn't show it, but obviously you knew what was going on, and they showed angles of it. But yeah, that was hard for me to watch that part.
Well, it showed you the pure evil of. I think it was Ivan was the guy. The pure evil he had in him. That even when he was stabbed multiple times and through the throat and everything, he still wanted to just do one thing and kill. He wanted to kill. Yeah.
And he was, he had a nice butt. That's all I can say. But it is what it is. But no, I felt super bad for that chick. I felt bad for all of them. And then he's like, well, I'm down one girl, and then the military guy just shoots another one in the head. He's like, oh, now you're down two. I'm like, when does this end? So
I don't know. At that point, I think I'd just rather be shot in the head and have to go through what those girls went through.
I would have just kept pumping the heroin. So, Isaac, do you have something else to say? You kind of looked like you were contemplating.
The whole movie just about the disregard for human life.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing.
Well, you'll be happy to know my pick for my next one is not as hard as the last two. It's a little bit lighter, and it's horror instead of horrific. So we'll go that route. And I don't remember whose pick it is next. I think it was going to be one of the guests, but I haven't been able to really talk to them, so we're going to default back to Isaac's pick.
Okay.
Do you have one on deck that you're ready to share with us next week, or?
Yeah, I have one ready to share. I think I'm going to continue my trend of looking at movies from directors that I like. So. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And I will share with you as well that the person that I was worried about watching it with you gave it a higher slice rank than you did.
Yeah, you. I guess you're kind of surprised, but she likes movies like that, like weird stuff.
Yeah,
she likes them. Yeah, so she'll watch them.
Yeah, so Isaac's wife gave it a 4.5 slices. Refused to come on the podcast, but she gave it a 4.5. So, yeah, like I said, it's not a movie that I would recommend anybody go out and watch, but it's definitely not how you look at it. I think it could be an important one or something. I don't know at that point.
Hey, how about this is 2 weeks in a row where we've had pretty depressing shows. Let's pick it up next week, guys.
Yeah, let's yeah. Oh God, yeah. Oh man, now I'm thinking about that one again. Yes, let's pick it up for next week. I think next week is also your topic, right?
Yeah, I got something.
I know you're still not.
I think will be fun to think about for us.
Yeah, you're still not giving us any insight. So is this going to be like a spur of the moment surprise thing, or?
Yeah, just because I want live reactions and I don't want you to think about it ahead of time.
Okay, because I would be thinking about it all week, as you know, it's except on Thursday when our Nintendo Switch 2s get dropped off, then I'm done thinking for a little bit. So, all right, guys. Well, I will see you all next week on Saturday. As always, be kind to yourselves, each other, and your insides, because Pizza After Midnight's a young man's game. Later.
Peace.
See ya.